Angry Furries. Yes, it's not Angry Birds, it's Angry Furries. Yeah, it's creepy.
Which happened to be the first game after the movie. Similarly, in the Reddit thread asking about the worst Angry Birds game,
yeah, they lost
one
their
user
identity.
implied it was most of them after the movie's release. Said games included Angry Birds Fight, aka a Candy Crush ripoff,
wow,
as well as Angry Birds Match, which was described as extremely bland.
Yeah.
However, thankfully for Rovio, their older titles were still extremely popular,
nice.
with Angry Birds 2's revenue growing 47% in 2018, despite it being over 3 years old.
That's impressive.
This gave them the budget to make a second movie. However, their $65 million bet didn't pay off so well this time.
Like, what do you, they're putting girls in the game now. I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? See, they're trying to put girls in the movie. Yeah, of course people are gonna... Bro, nobody wants to see that.
Forbes wrote Angry Birds 2 is worse than the original in nearly every way, whilst Rotten Tomatoes critics added, a distressingly ineffective sequel that grows less and less interesting and more tiresome as it unfolds. Still, the movie made a profit of $82 million, right as the company was making some weird changes.
Way less, though.
Despite their older games being low maintenance, Rovio decided to completely stop updating them. Then, without explanation, some of the older beloved titles, including the original Angry Birds, were deleted from the App Store. When people began to talk about what they'd done, people made compilations stating Angry Birds was dead. There were comments like, "Remember when Rovio actually cared?" whilst hashtag #BringBack2012 began to trend on Twitter. Things got so bad that Rovio apologized, stating they only did it as maintaining the highest quality of updates and live operations isn't possible with our older games.
Why not? So, as many of these games were built so long ago on older technology using outdated game engines, today's mobile technology, we can't just leave them there and not update them, as games need to comply with all sort of platform requirements. It sounds like bullshit.
In response to the backlash that announced they planned on redeveloping Angry Birds Classic, which was re-released on the App Store in 2022, but at a price of $1.99 with no in-game purchases. They'd changed Classic's name to Red's First Flight, making it harder to find in the App Store.
Why would you do that?
Thus prompting players to buy the newer, more profitable games.
No. That is some rat shit, bro. Like, oh my god. How do you do that? So so they took the original game off and then they renamed it to something else. So when people search for the original game, they'll end up playing the games that are more pay to win?
Successfully fooled some people who struggled to find it on the App Store. However, others knew exactly what Angry Birds was doing. They got rid of the old ones so that you would have no other choice than to play the modern Candy Crush-esque games. On redeveloping Angry Birds Classic, which was re-released on the App Store in 2022, but at a price of $1.99 with no in-game purchases. They'd changed Classic's name to Red's First Flight, making it harder to find in the App Store.
Why would you do that?
Thus prompting players to buy the newer, more profitable games.
No. That is some rat shit, bro. Like, oh my god. How do you do that? So so they took the original game off and then they renamed it to something else. So when people search for the original game, they'll end up playing the games that are more pay to win?
Successfully fooled some people who struggled to find it on the App Store. However, others knew exactly what Angry Birds was doing. They got rid of the old ones so that you would have no other choice than to play the modern Candy Crush-esque games.
That's ridiculous.
They despised the games that made the company and so lost its spirit.
Oh my god.
Rovio basically confirmed this, openly stating they changed the name due to the game's impact on our wider games portfolio.
my god. Dude, these people make Ubisoft look like From Software. This is crazy. You just went out and said it?
They further requested that fans continue to bring that passion to our live Angry Birds Slingshot games, such as Angry Birds 2. However, players weren't too happy. We hope those fans can continue to bring that passion to our other games which have been designed to be more psychologically manipulative and stuffed with more microtransactions. Fixed it for you.
Yeah.
The drama was so severe, it seemingly halted any future games.
So they just canceled the game because it wasn't monetized well enough. They're like, well, we can't make enough money on this, so we're not going to do it anymore.
Angry Birds Classic is
you know
still
what's so stupid about that is that a lot of games, like they were unable to view the game as a loss leader effectively, right? Which is what it is. It's a loss leader in the Angry Birds economy. So even if this game might not make you money, this game gets people into the ecosystem of Angry Birds, and then they might play other games if they get attached to the characters. So it's just so stupid. Like, how do you not do that?
The most recent title, released way back in 2022. In 2023, Rovio was sold to Sega, although this has done little to fix their reputation. One recent tweet expressed, "I very much still love Angry Birds. That said, the current state of it is dog shit. My hope for the franchise is at an all-time low right now. I'll just continue to enjoy what I love about it, but it's sad to see what it's become. Despite everything, Angry Birds isn't finished."
I didn't know people were so attached. I thought it was just a fucking bird game. Like, I was like, what's this shit? Those are kind of cool. Okay. Oh, they hit the thing? Oh, all right. Cool. Well, anyway. I mean, that's about it for me, right? Like, I didn't even know this was a situation.
As they just announced they're making a third movie, although with the rest of the franchise in decline, its performance might be interesting.
Oh god. I just...
Back in 2011,
these games are made for people who don't know what real games are. Am I crazy for thinking that the premise of Angry Birds is actually a W idea? It's actually such a cool idea. Angry Birds is awesome. Like, it's such a cool idea, and I don't see why people, like, everybody trying to... This is just out... This is disgusting, though. The fucking... The eagle just shows up and just blows everything up. This is such bullshit. It's not even fair. Yeah, what is this? Just one-shots the whole thing. Yeah, they're calling in a fucking nuke. Well, anyway, yeah, I'm not surprised when a nostalgia hit. See, like, this is what's weird for me is because, like, in 2012, I was 22. So, I don't have any nostalgia for this, right? Like, I feel like nostalgia for Angry Birds. Oh, yeah, they're cute, they're funny. Yeah, that's cool, right? I'm like, yeah, little mushy things. But, like, I guess there's people that are, like, maybe 10 years younger than me. And maybe they grew up with Angry Birds and it was like their little, like, oh, it's so cute, the little birds and everything, right? And like, it's their it's their nostalgia. Cause like for me, I'm like, I was 12, yeah, I was 22. And so like, I don't have any fucking nostalgia for this. So I'm just like, oh my God, I didn't know that there was like a fan base for this. There was any of this. It's their Neopets. You're actually that's such a good comparison. Yeah, it's like Neopets. Because, like, a lot of people that are my age loved Neopets. And now, like, nobody knows what the fuck Neopets is. There's not really... Like, I mean, I didn't have a lot of nostalgia for... Like, what is something that I had nostalgia for as a kid? Fuck. Like... Wow, yeah. I'm trying to think about it. Tamagotchi? Yeah, but like I did that one time. I was done with it, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe some like Secret of Mana. Like maybe something with like that kind of a vibe. Power Rangers, but I never really gave a shit about it. So like the shows that I liked the most, I liked Ed, Edd n Eddy. That was my favorite show, and that was the only show that I really, really liked. All of the other ones, like Johnny Bravo was funny. Dexter's Laboratory was just funny. It was a spectacle, right? It was good. But I really liked fucking Ed, Edd n Eddy. And then also Thundercats. I thought Thundercats was super fucking cool. And I'm trying to think like what the other ones were besides that. Well, I mean, like, yeah, I watched Cow and Chicken, Courage the Cowardly Dog. But like, it was Ed, Edd n Eddy for me. That was my favorite one because like I could relate to it really well because like I don't live in a cul-de-sac, right? But like we had like that neighborhood group of kids that would get together. And so like, I was like, oh, this is a show. Like, it's kind of like how we are, right? And so it's Recess. Yeah, exactly. Kids Next Door. Well, the Kids Next Door, like that came out when I was like, I think 10 or 11. So like I was already kind of past the point, like, because so I watched, like I would say at like 11 or 12, I went from watching like normal cartoons to watching stuff like, I would say like a little bit of Dragon Ball Z, and then also The Simpsons, and then I went from that to watching Full Metal Alchemist and like Ghost in the Shell and like that kind of like anime. And then from that, I was just watching like normal movies, right? I'm trying to think besides that. So I kind of stopped watching cartoons, like Cartoon Network cartoons. I mean, if you want to, I mean, DBZ was on Cartoon Network, it's on Toonami. But like, and also, I mean, to be fair, Adult Swim was also on it, the Cartoon Network at night. But normal, like, the Justice League, well, no, I watched that, but I was like a kid when I watched that. Like, the animated Justice League show was actually so good, and I had no idea that it was that good until I went back and I watched clips of it semi-recently, and I was like, wow, this show was insanely good. Like, we didn't deserve this. This was nuts. Yeah, it was great. X-Men? Yeah, I was a little kid though, right? I didn't remember a lot of it.
At Bell Tire, we're out to change the entire tire business.
We actually take care of our customers.
That's what makes
What is it? Victory is upon us.
What is everyone saying that honey? This is like a honey scam thing, exposing the honey influencer scam. All right, let's watch.
By now, you've probably heard about Honey. You know, the browser extension that saves you money.
Do you have Honey installed?
What's Honey?
Oh, no.
Honey.
Honey is a free browser extension.
Free browser extension.
Free browser extension.
Can I be honest with you? This is probably one of my biggest fears with ads is accidentally doing advertisement for a company that I thought was pretty good, and it turns out they're actually horrible. I know nothing else about this video at all, but if there's anything that keeps me up at night, this is probably one of the things that keeps me up at night. Well, I don't take many sponsorships, like especially for things I don't know.
Free browser extension.
That automatically applies coupon codes when you check out online.
But I probably would have took Honey, like, because I thought I knew Honey. Like, it's like, oh, like it helps people. I've used it before, like years ago. Although it's been kind of shit for the last few years. I stopped using it a few years ago. Do you do a ton of research on sponsorships? I try to, but like sometimes there just isn't much research. Like, for example, when I was with Mayhem tried to get me to do a sponsorship for some company that was clearly a crypto farmer. Like, it was like this, like, oh, you play games, we give you rewards. I was like, nah, that's a fucking secret crypto farmer scam. And so I looked into it, and it was. And I was like, nah, I'm good. And so then they tried to offer me directly, and I said, nah, I'm good. And then Mayhem tried to fucking strong arm me, and they were like, well, you owe us a sponsorship every month, or you owe us a video every month. We want this one to be it. And I was like, you push me any fucking further and this shit's gonna go down. And then they backed off, and the guy who was doing it apparently was not supposed to be doing that to me, and he disappeared. Like, he was gone like 2 weeks later. So that's why I always say I always loved Mayhem. It was my one thing I ever had a problem with, was that right there. It was the one time I was like, listen, I'll do everything I can for you guys, but I am not promoting that shit. Fuck you. That is not happening. And then I went up the chain a little bit, and they were like, they're doing what? Yeah, but this is definitely something that keeps me up at night. Oh god.
Basically. It's literally free money.
It doesn't make sense to not be using this.
So what's the catch?
There is no catch.
Join Honey. Join Honey. Join Honey.
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 Honey. Honey. Honey. Honey. Honey. Honey. Honey. Honey. Honey.
Oh no.
What now?
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but your favorite influencers sold you a lie. Honey is a scam, and the majority of claims promoted by those influencers aren't even remotely true. But it gets worse. Honey hasn't just been scamming you, the consumer, they've also been stealing money from influencers, including the very ones they paid to promote their product. And I'm not just talking about a few bucks here. I believe the scam has likely cost content creators millions of dollars. Sound crazy? Well, I didn't believe it at first either.
Yeah, Honey doesn't do shit for me either. All the time it says, oh, there's codes available. Then I go to use it. They're like, oh, none of these codes are actually usable. But if you pay for premium.
Until I experienced it myself firsthand. In fact, I'm confident this might just be the biggest influencer scam of all time, which is
I got
insane.
a game? Oh, God. Okay, back to the video. Sorry.
Considering Honey is owned and run by PayPal, who purchased this company for $4 billion. This 3-part series is the result of a multi-year investigation where I believe I've uncovered signs of advertising fraud, affiliate fraud, the illegal collection of personal data, deception, lies, coercion, extortion, the list goes on. I've reviewed hundreds of documents.
Dude, there is some degenerate shit that sometimes happens with sponsor stuff, so I'm not that surprised.
Adverts, sponsorships. I've reviewed emails between Honey.
There are some companies that are just straight up fucking evil.
Merchants, interviewed victims. Believe me, this runs deep. Now, I want to be clear. The views, allegations, and conclusions expressed in this series are my opinions, based on evidence I have gathered, which will be shared throughout. With that said, ladies and gentlemen,
that's the legal disclosure right there.
At FanDuel, we know hockey fans don't just have a hunch. You have a hockey hunch. You could tell they're gonna light the lamp before they do. You could see that assist coming a mile away. And you just know when your goalie's totally in the zone. So put your hockey hunches together for a same-game parlay.
Uh-oh.
Now I know what you're thinking. It's a free browser extension. How bad could it be? Well, trust me, it's far more sinister than you might think. You know what they say, if a product's free, it's likely you're the product. And as you'll find out later in this investigation,
selling data
that
probably
remains true for PayPal Honey. Now, like most people, I too fell for the lies. What's not to love about a free browser extension that saves you money? It's a compelling product, and with the endorsement from what feels like every single popular influencer on YouTube,
vertical display. There it goes. Oh. Yeah, I had it on my old microphone. Oh my god, now I hear my echo. My mic sounds pretty good though. Fucking my head's like in space right now. I feel like shit. Yeah, I called Justin this morning. I was like, dude, I know I never call, but I'm thinking I'm going to today. He said, dude, I can't tell you no. He goes, you're here every day. So. I'll probably still feel like shit tomorrow, but it won't be one of those one day fucking sicknesses. You guys will see that shit. Brooke's sick, and I'm pretty sure she's who got me sick. I don't ever believe Brooke when she says she's sick. She just always fucking sick. She always says she's sick, but now I'm like feeling all the same way she did. So it's like, oh, she wasn't lying. All right, I'll see you.
It's no wonder millions of
Oh, what did you do? Fuck. He said this ad.